The Yellow Submarine. A moniker that has been given to a club that constantly stays afloat, despite the fact that they compete in La Liga and are overshadowed by apex predators. In light of this, in their distinctive canary yellow kit, Villarreal is known to put up a good fight, especially in defense of their home ground, which boasts a healthy capacity of 25,000 spectators. It is recently, under Spaniard Unai Emery's care, Villarreal has started to re-establish itself in the continental game. With a solid core of new additions, and their younger contingent coming into their own, El Submarino Amarillo is coming off a victorious Europa League campaign, defeating Manchester United in the 2020-2021 season. However, despite their success and talented roster, it is a pleasant surprise to see them amongst Europe's blue-chip clubs in the business end of the Champions League. Yes, they had just defeated Juventus 4-1 on aggregate, but their shaky performances in La Liga justified the surprise. When they were drawn with the beasts from Bavaria, Bayern's victory was a foregone conclusion for many. Bayern Munich, who were undefeated in the Champions League, with 7 victories over 8 matches, had scored 30 goals over the group stage while boasting the leading goal scorer in the tournament, in tremendous form. Their last match in the competition saw them demolish RB Salzburg, 7-1. At the same time, they had conceded a mere 5 goals. They were a complete club, all around, with tremendous depth, with a market value of €804 million. And yet, a modest La Liga club, with a market value of €382 million, with a stadium capacity of under 25,000, stood toe-to-toe with them in complete defiance, causing all to wonder how it happened. Unai Emery's primary objective was to mitigate risk, and understandably so, considering his opponents, who have scored 130 goals in all competitions at the time of this writing. The Spaniards' first priority was to ensure that Polish poacher Robert Lewandowski was accounted for. The task would be more difficult due to the fact that Bayern Munich's preferred lineup under Julian Nagelsmann is the 4-2-3-1. In the central attacking midfielder role, he positioned German ace Thomas Müller, who could play off of Lewandowski's shoulder, within the box. Müller has maintained his exceptional form for the entire year. The German ace currently leads Bayern in shot-creating actions, with 147, good for 15th place for all players in Champions League play, adding 18 assists. Robert Lewandowski has significantly benefited and has a ridiculous tally of 45 goals this season. The width was to be supplied by Serge Gnabry and Kingsley Coman, placing speed and skill in wide areas. Kingsley Coman shares the throne with Vinicius Jr., as the cream of the crop in Champions League play for shot-creating actions, with 44. The 4 attackers provided tremendous firepower, leading all clubs in shot-creating actions, goal-creating actions, and goals scored. They maintained complete control of the midfield, sitting 4th place in Champions League play for touches in the middle third while 2nd in progressive distribution. This was established with their double pivot system, with the core component being Joshua Kimmich, who is an elite defender and precision passer. The German has amassed 72 interceptions in all competitions and a further 335 recoveries. Nagelsmann paired Kimmich with 19-year-old Jamal Musiala, given that Florian Tolisso, Marcel Sabitzer, and Leon Goretzka are all dealing with injury issues. The versatile youngster provided energy and dynamic creativity as the second half of the 2-man, deep midfield system, with the capability to take on multiple attacking roles. He was paired on the left channel with Canadian marauder Alphonso Davies, another versatile and skilled player. The tactical advantage of pairing the 2 youngsters was to leave the left channel as a primary attacking lane for each youngster, in addition to Serge Gnabry. Either Musiala or Davies could provide defensive coverage, as the extra man would provide leverage, width support, and overlapping capabilities to Gnabry on the flank. On the opposite channel, French flyer Kingsley Coman had free rein to utilize his speed and playmaking abilities, with backline support from Benjamin Pavard and Kimmich shading either side as over-the-top support in the attack. As a double-footed crosser, he is credited with 2 assists and a further 7 goal-creating actions on the season. On the backline, Dayot Upamecano and Lucas Hernandez were paired for precision. Each man has maintained spectacular passing numbers, maintaining a passing average of 90% each while leading the team in tackles. With the looming danger ahead of him, Unai Emery's primary objective was to mitigate risks across the board. This meant that everything had to be calculated to the most intricate detail. A defensive formation would have to be applied and maintained for the entire match. There could be no hesitation or lapses in concentration, or Bayern would feast all game. Hence, His men lined up in the 4-3-3, but they adapted to the 4-4-2 as the match flowed. His defensive resistance started with his backline pairing, a mixture of youth and experience, with Raúl Albiol and Pau Torres. Despite that Villarreal sits 7th in La Liga in terms of points, they are 4th in terms of goals against. The two defenders are complements, tracking each other's movements and responding in kind. Villarreal are the masters of the offside trap, currently leading La Liga with 103 offside calls against, over 29 matches played. His backs, Pervis Estupiñán and Juan Foyth, were primarily fixed so that they could maintain the four-man defensive line. Although when the ball was secured by Villarreal, they could advance up the pitch with the maneuvered build-up play. Argentinian Juan Foyth had a challenging assignment on the night as he was tasked with containing the attack on the oppositional left flank, thus he had to take calculated risks. However, given the fact that he is Villarreal's best tackler by a considerable margin, he was the right man for the job. Foyth had flank support from his right winger and fellow Argentine, Giovanni Lo Celso, who had a mixed set of responsibilities. He was to help to contain the overload on the right channel and provide defensive support to Foyth when necessary, in addition to his offensive duties. On the opposite flank, Francis Coquelin acted as a winger with a Raider modification, meaning that he was primarily a defender with limited attacking responsibilities. He was to double up on Kingsley Coman, in addition to Muller, who could also invade the space. Each winger and wingback was to stay fixed and zonal, which was crucial to preserve their defensive shape in the 4-4-2 and 4-3-3. The maintained width across the line made it extremely difficult for attackers to find any space for a pass or a dribble. Lo Celso could take the space in the attacking phase, converting the formation to the 4-3-3 when attacking, with Dani Parejo, Francis Coquelin, and Etienne Capoue advancing and swarming on any counterattacks. Bayern deployed a deep static press, as Villarreal maintained two tiers of 4 in the 4-4-2. This ensured that passing lanes were blocked, while preserving attackers' energy, without aggressive pressing. The deep press forced the choice upon the restart, as Geronimo Rulli would have to bypass each tier by launching long balls into the neutral third. Thus, Villarreal had to ensure that they dominated aerially from the deadball transition. And indeed they did, winning 7 of 12 aerial duels. The transitional phase was a critical component of the match, with Bayern seeking to gain space in crucial areas. Bayern would challenge central space by testing the strength and unity of Villarreal's lines. To achieve this, they devoted numbers forward, transitioning to the 3-4-3 and the 3-3-4. They maintained width by ensuring that a man was fixed on either flank as the maneuvered phase commenced. Villarreal, however, were not baited by the threat from the flanks, which would have weakened the integrity of their lines, by pulling them apart, creating space for central lanes. Thus, Bayern had to play across their lines, with the requirement to somehow break through Villarreal's resistance. Nagelsmann alternated the positions of his speedy players, in order to attempt to pull Villa's markers out of position. Emery's men remained positionally sound, with the understanding that they would not be compromised centrally. Thus as central routes became less viable, Bayern were kept at bay on the perimeter. Villarreal remained adaptive, with a man in quick response to deal with the flank threats. Unai Emery had instructed his men to prioritize maintaining a strong central presence, at all costs, yet at the same time, their presence on the flanks was also strong. Villarreal sought to regain control and cherish possession, opting for a cautious approach in their maneuvered attack. The majority of their attacks started from the right flank, through Juan Foyth, who served as the focal of an attacking triangle with a sideline orientation. By commencing from the sideline, the threat of the counterattack was minimized. They could play attacking triangles, demanding Bayern to devote numbers to prevent the build-up, or allow them to execute a maneuvered attack. They played beautiful football, moving the ball with unity and confidence to the delight of their fans. The first goal was scored within the first 10 minutes, with Villarreal navigating the space in a unified attack. Building from the sideline, they capitalized on the transition by running into open lanes, which were ample. It is unclear whether Bayern was supposed to be playing zonal or man, as their defenders were overwhelmed entirely and flat-footed as the cross was delivered. However, the stage was set for the rest of the match with this goal. Villarreal carried the momentum with gained confidence. They would win the ball back, and seek to build up play from the sidelines quickly, moving, and utilizing the space with elegance, causing Bayern to vacate space in pursuit. Bayern Munich, who is second for all teams in Champions League play for progressive distribution, had to be contained for both passing and carries. Villarreal deployed a deep, aggressive press to achieve this. The Beasts from Bavaria are also second for all Champions League clubs for average passing accuracy at long range, with 75%. Against Villarreal, it was 63%. Villarreal remained adaptive and cohesive in their defensive shape to nullify their precision. Bayern alternated between an all-out attacking adaptation based on Müller and Lewandowski. Lewandowski and Müller, who are excellent at timing their runs, had difficulty synchronizing themselves with the man on the ball. They were contained in a compressed area the majority of the time, with excellent communication between Villarreal's backline. The combination of the compressed lines with the offside trap meant that Bayern had to seek the flanks more often, alternating between flanks for a quick cross. However, Villarreal's flank defending was superb, with a special mention for Lo Celso and Juan Foyth, who each had a tremendous performance, and were able to shut things down. Both men had 5 interceptions in containment of Gnabry and Davis, contributing to Villarreal's total of 25. Villarreal, as a collective, demonstrated a tremendous desire to win individual battles while maintaining their defensive shape. The second half saw a more intense version of the first. Bayern made the early adjustments of being more aggressive in their press, putting the ball carrier under greater duress at the point of reception. But it was more of the same, with Villarreal remaining composed and capable. As the match grew, their lines grew more compressed, with each man gaining more of an understanding of the other's position. This led to the home side gaining more confidence in their attack, occasionally devoting more players forwards in pursuit of a vital second goal. However, the riskier styles of play left them vulnerable to counterattacks, requiring an immediate collapse into the vacant space and sharp and precise recovery tackling. The lines became more compressed, suffocating the space even more. Nagelsmann further adjusted, sending on Leroy Sané, Leon Goretzka, and Nicolas Sula, between the 69th and 71st minutes. The adjustment saw Bayern convert to the 3-5-1, with Sula acting in a more advanced role, and Leroy Sané running the midfield. The pacey dribbler could utilize his skills to continue to pull apart Villarreal's lines. In 29 minutes of participation, he had 20 carries, 85 yards of progressive distribution, and 1 dribble. Thus the lines grew even more restricted, in critical zones, preventing operational space for dribblers. Bayern ultimately generated 738 touches, which caused 31 shot-creating actions and 22 shots, 4 of which were on target. Villarreal's defensive proficiency forced Bayern to attempt 20 crosses, substantially more than their average for Champions League play with 15. Unai Emery and Villarreal are to be commended for not completely parking the bus and continuing to attack in pursuit of a greater margin of victory. Ultimately, it was a perfect combination of an adaptive and airtight system, with individual brilliance, and an impassioned crowd that gave Villarreal the edge. In combat sports, they say styles make fights, and the adage is just as applicable in the second leg of this tie. The yellow submarine will become the yellow bus in an all-out defense of their precious lead. We can expect Villarreal to play even more cautiously, maintaining their lines in close proximity. Villarreal's attacking line will have to sacrifice and remain laser-focused in a sustained defensive effort for 90 minutes. Bayern has 2 home losses on the season, and they will be determined to ensure this remains the same. Nagelsmann will likely go for an ultra-attacking formation, stacking his 4-2-3-1 with his offensive generators. They will seek more opportunities from range, attempting to shift Villarreal's lines off balance, and catch them with an accurate distance chance. They will attempt substantially more dribbles as they will be necessary to gain space and attack routes. Given Bayern's attacking fortitude, home record and scoring prowess, we expect them to be up for the test. With only a 1-goal margin to close, they will seek to close the gap early, inspired by their fans.